Hello, 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 family. It's Will and Nakia.
Hello, guys.
Good morning, good morning. Hey, what are you doing? No, but you don't. You're gonna drop the camera.
No, he's
right
not. He's not. You see the way center?
Okay, but you don't. The camera is still sit right here.
Leave it there. You center. That's the most important.
But I could center it if you just let
No,
me
you
fix the
don't.
computer. Okay. Excuse us. Y'all see communication early this morning, right? Right. Good morning.
No, it's still.
I really wish you would. Like, could you put it somewhere to where I don't have to turn it in?
Yeah, it's all the stuff that you have here.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to.
Still here.
You don't have to.
But I'm gonna be going back and forth like
No,
this.
you don't have to. Just keep talking.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm keep
Just
talking.
focus right here and tell them that hey, you also.
Okay. Good morning, you guys. Y'all, good morning. I know y'all say, where y'all been, hiatus? Where y'all been? Where y'all been? But good morning, good morning, good morning. As you are joining, we are on, excuse me, you guys. We are trying to stream live from, can you give me a second? We're trying to stream from YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. I was like, where is we at Facebook? No. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. If you are joining us, please let us know where you're joining from. Excuse me. Let us know where you're joining from. We are live this morning. We are so thankful to be here with you. Excuse me. Why am I not showing it? Okay, there you go, right there. It's like, where is it at? Okay. Share the live. If you are on TikTok, well, we should have removed requests to join. Do you know how to do that? Because we're not accepting. We're not going to accept anybody up right now. We're just going to be teaching.
Yeah.
And then you got your notes over on that phone. You good? Good morning, you guys. Again, I'm sorry. As you are joining this morning, again, share the live. Let us know where you're joining from. We are on TikTok, Facebook, and our YouTube channel. We want you to know that we missed you guys. It has, we've been dealing with some things this first of the year. And so we are glad that we have an opportunity to come before you this morning and really just share some things with you. I know that if you do not know us, this is your first time hearing about us, we are
the Manny May from Impacting Lives.
Who are you?
William and Nakia.
Like, who are you?
The Manny May.
He's William, and I am Nakia, and we are the Manimays, and we are your marriage and relationship coaches, Impacting Lives Coaching and Consulting. You can find us on all social media platforms by Nakia Maname or William Maname. We have a Will and Nakia. So all social media platforms, you can reach out to us for assistance. We are so thankful again for having you here with us. And we're not going to hold you long. We want to talk about communication. And it seems like that specific topic always comes up for us when that is one of the areas where it's well, we're generally always tested. But the key to a sustainable relationship is communication. It is one of the things that you need to make sure you have on your tool belt where relationship and marriage is concerned. Whether you are in an intimate relationship with someone or just your family indirectly, you need to make sure that you are communicating well.
And communication is very important because guys understand that you have to master the art of communicate with one another. There should be no confusion. There should be no confusion when it comes to communicate with one another. So it's very important that you understand communicate is not only the delivery, but it's also the reception. How the other person perceive what you communicate or try to communicate. So that's very important.
You know, for us, with us having two different backgrounds. I am a Black American. William is a
Black African.
I was gonna say Gabonese. Now, see, if I'd have said a Black African, you'd have been like, "Nah, I'm Gabonese."
Yeah. Black African from Gabon.
And so William, of course, speaks another language. His first language is speak French. And you guys, when we first got married, we clashed in every area because it was like, dude, who are you and what are you talking about? Right?
Yeah, communication is like having an Arabic married to a Chinese and never learn one another, of language, primal language. So that's the key. So communication is not only being eloquent when you speak, it's knowing the language the other person you speak to understand and comprehend. That's communication. That's
and
important.
you have to make sure that in that you need to be patient with one another. Because sometimes you're not going to always get it. You're going to misread, you're going to miscommunicate, you're going to missay something. As my husband always said to me, you don't stop to listen to me. You just stop. So I have to stop to hear out the whole sentence before I already speak to finish it off for him. And so these are things that we have learned and are still learning in our relationship, because it's important for you to know that if you're going to be successful in your relationship with one another, you're going to have to first learn how to communicate well. I like what you said too about, the language. You need to make sure that you're speaking the right language. If you don't have the book, you need to have this book in your library, The 5 Love Languages by it's Gary Chapman, I believe it is. You need to love your spouse the way they need to be loved.
The way they comprehend love. That's even way better.
You see what I'm talking about? Not how you want to love them. Because generally what we do is we love people the way we want to love them, or we want to give them love, and not love them the way they comprehend love.
But this is really natural for men, for human being, because we tend to love people the way we were loved. And we develop the habit of, that's how my parent loved me, so I'm just gonna love you that way. It is you have to learn, how to, because if I need you to, like the helper, okay, yes, biblical context, the Bible says that you are the helper. In what way you gonna help me if you don't comprehend the communication?
It's not gonna be effective. Not that I want to assist, but if I don't understand, it's just like if you as a parent, if I come and I tell my child to do X, Y, and Z, but I wasn't detailed to explain to them how to do X, Y, and Z, they'll never give me the full X, Y, and Z. They might give me the X and a portion of the Y, but they're never going to complete the Z because they didn't understand the details on how to do all of those things. And in a relationship, it's very important with husband and wife that you are you're specific and detailed in those things. What do I need? Husband, I need for you to be present. Wife, I need for you to give me sex every week, or whatever the thing is. Whatever it is you need to communicate with one another, you need to make sure that you are clear and concise on what you're trying to deliver. I think that's very important. We miss that a lot, and being clear and concise.
But a communication example, like, let's say when you talk about the sex part, okay,
you just had to go to 6.
Right? No. I need to.
You just had to go.
I need to tell something because it's really misunderstood. Okay. Okay, you come and you tell your spouse, okay, I need sex 4 times a week per se, but that has to be communicated. Communicate is not let somebody know.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Communicate is make somebody understand and comprehend the importance of the message you are giving, you are sharing with him. In that, there is a why. Why do I need sex this number of times a week or a month? How do I need it? You know, what's the benefit for you, the giver, now the requester or the giver, okay? But because you don't want, okay, but what's the benefit for you? If the benefit is only for me, now it's not good. You can only participate if there's a benefit for you, for the one who was requested to give. That's communication. Okay. Just don't get up in the morning and say, that's what I need because I need it. But it has to, it can be selfish.
Well, and then, you know, so I know for one of the things that we teach when we come to coaching, especially for those that haven't been married before or not married now and want to be married, is to make sure that you display this and you have this conversation on the things that you need, the things that you want, the things that you desire. You need to make sure that you are expressing this in the beginning so that there's no false pretense when you go in. So if you are one that, you know, is you require more, you need to make sure that you express those things in order for you to obtain what you need in the relationship. What you implement. You know, for you to obtain what you need, you want to make sure. Just have it return. Because we are two different people. We're not the same in the relationship. And so in order for you to flow properly, in order for you to be effective, you need to make sure, one, that you are effectively communicating with one another. And if your significant other, if that person that you have in your life is not understanding, try to help them to understand. So sometimes you have to step away because they may not get it at that moment. You know, there have been things that William have desired to do, and I don't get it. I'm like, bro, what are we doing this for? I don't understand that. And as we step away, I pray about it, and you know, we come and we talk about it again. He tried to break it down to me again, and I still don't get it. And I'm like, okay, all right. And sometimes he has to talk to me like he's talking to Isaiah, because I'm like, I need to be able to understand this here, because you have this big old vision here, and I'm not getting. I don't see how we're gonna do this. I'm the very realistic, straight to the point. I need details, and he will have to break it down for me. And I thank God that he has the patience. He don't always display the patience.
I'm very patient.
You've grown there in almost 10 years. But in the beginning, that was hard because he just felt like, okay, well, I'm going to say a thing, I'm going to tell you a thing, and then you're just supposed to know how to do it. No.
So just cook, Nikia and I, we are writing simultaneously 2 books, okay? Godly Manhood and Godly Womanhood, okay? Doing your marriage God's way. So, and we have a chapter 3, that deals about communicate with love and grace, okay? So that is this part in effective communication, where we said effective communication is a fundamental aspect of human interaction, playing a crucial role in relationship, okay? Now, you need to understand that effective communication is not only about transmitting information, but also aligning with principles rooted in love, truth, and grace. I'm going to start with the last. When you communicate with somebody and you want your communication to be effective, okay, you have to put a zest of grace.
Child today.
You need to, because we don't always get it on the first try.
Right.
Okay. Effective communication is a growth process. And when we talk about growth, it's a seed that you plant. You have to keep watering the seed, keep watering. You have to put the seed in a certain, atmosphere. Okay. The sun has to come that way. It shouldn't be too much. It shouldn't be too soon, too low. You have to study all this environment. That's how you do. That's grace within your relationship with your spouse, with one another.
And even with you saying that, William, one of the things that we we are learning and will have learned is not assuming. William this is one of his pet peeves.
Yeah. Don't never assume. You're not God, you don't know. And if you don't know, don't assume. Ask question. Ask the right question to have the right answer.
So women, we are guilty of that. Women, we are guilty of that. Can I get a thumb up or a star or something? What?
Oh yeah, I forgot to put these people. Yes, I'm so sorry. I forgot to put. Yeah, you can continue there.
We tend to assume that our spouse knows what we want or what we need, and I'm a pop you on the hand and I say today, going forward, do not assume. Don't assume that your spouse knows that your tires need to be changed if you're the only one that drive the car. Don't assume that he knows that it's time for the oil to be changed if you're the only one driving the car. You want to make sure, okay, babe, it was 3 months ago. It's time for the oil to be changed. Okay, babe, I got my tire pressure light came on. Can you check the tires for me? Can you make sure that they're good? Yes, he should be conscious of these things, but if you're the only one driving your car, then you may have to assist in that. So don't just assume that, oh, my husband is going to come and he's going to go get my car checked. It would be great if he does.
Because life happens.
However, unless you put a calendar, put a thing on his calendar to say 3 months from now, okay, babe, check the car. You don't assume.
Like the oil change. The oil
Correct.
change, you don't have to tell me if we already communicate about it.
Correct, right.
That, honey, we just did today. Every 3 months, every 6 months, we need oil change. Every 6 months, you put in your calendar, it reminds you, hey, you have. So this, but it has already been communicated.
Correct, but I'm not going to just assume that you just automatically know if we didn't communicate that in detail upfront.
And in communication, there is what we call reminder.
Correct.
A week from now, hey baby, the day before, because life happens. Hey babe, don't forget the oil change. Oh, okay. Thank you for reminding me. That's also a form of communication. In the second step of effective communication, you have truth. Okay. Always communicate truth. Don't lie, even if it's
uncomfortable.
Don't lie. Because a lie can take the elevator, the truth, the stairs, but when they meet up there, the fall is bad for the lie. Okay.
If you have any questions, please put your questions in the comment section and we'll answer those at the end of the session. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section and we will get to those at the end. Thank you.
And share the live, share the live. We also have TikTok right here, TikTok family. Share the live and don't forget the goal on the top. Yes, the hat. So always tell the truth in communicating with one another. Always tell the truth. If your wife asks you, hey honey, did you use the money for this and that? Yes, I did. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I should have communicated with you before. Okay, so that's it. That's communication, but always tell the truth. Okay. There is also love. In effective communication, you have to communicate in love, which is an amazing principle.
If you're watching in the group, you can't share it. I'm sorry. You can't share it outside of the group, but if you're on the YouTube or the Will and Nakia page in Facebook, you can. I'm sorry. I think that's somebody from our group
Group.
asking to make it shareable.
Okay. So communicate with love from a place of love. It's very important. Okay.
Mhm.
Don't just, I'm just no. Any communication that doesn't who's not rooted in love
Mhm.
will always be damageable.
Mhm.
Always. Okay. Even though the information was great, but how you communicate, Nikia is really huge on that. Um, it's not that your words, or no, it's not that the information is wrong. However, the verbiage used, the tone used, the the form that you use, if it was not out of love, it's not going to serve the purpose. So it's very important, guys, that you understand that effective communication has to come from those three places: love, truth,
Mhm.
and grace.
Mhm.
So this is something that people don't often learn before saying I do.
Oh Jesus, no.
How to communicate.
No, you don't. You get into the thick of it, and then you like, oh, I don't want this no more. Where you need to learn these skills before you say I do. So if you are currently married, let me get a 1. If you are waiting to be married, let me get a 2.
Mm.
Put in the comments. If you're currently married, let me get a 1. If you are waiting for your spouse, let me get a 2 in the comment section, because it truly makes a difference on where you are when you are work, especially if you've been in relationships before and those relationships did not work, and you go into another relationship with the expectation that this person is going to communicate with you how the last person communicated with you. I would encourage you to step back and re-examine some things. I'll say it like that, because I can't be under the assumption that William is going to communicate with me how Larry and Joe did. Larry and Joe was Larry and Joe. William is who he is. And so if I begin to see similarities in Larry, Joe, and William, then I need to express to him that this form of communication is not a healthy form of communication for me. And we don't take accountability, and that we again assume that they're just supposed to know. They weren't in a relationship with you when you was with Larry and Joe. So how would William know that Larry and Joe did these same things, and it triggered something, or it caused insecurities, whatever the thing may be? But we must address the things. One area for me with communicating is I'm one that I just don't like to deal with stuff. I'm better, right, babe?
Huh?
Boof.
Yeah, you are.
I am better than when we first got married. Because look at here, I just sweep it under the rug. I just whatever. Okay, keep going, because it's whatever. For me, it's like it's easier just not to deal with it. However, there are hard conversations that you need to have. And in those hard conversations, you need to walk with grace, because you need to be able to express to your loved one with sensitivity. Yes, you want to be honest with them, but you need to find the grace on how to display that honesty.
And communication is not always saying something.
Ooh,
Communication
come
can
on.
be
Can we tell
silent.
me where you can we tell you that you learned that, that you learned in that one?
Communication can be silent.
I have learned the way we grew up observing my parents. Yeah, oh my God, that's a big one, Erica. On how we saw our parents communicate, it's generally how we go into our relationships communicating with one another.
Yeah. But you need to. That's why we encourage people to get coaches.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get coached.
Well, even get coached, it's you need to develop your relationship, because what we do is, like we said when we started this live, it's the African way and the Black American way, and so we just doing it how we know to do it, and it wasn't working.
but okay, look at this. Why is it important? Because most of us
Don't.
we got coached.
Oh, most definitely.
We got
Child,
coached
child, and
until
still getting coached.
until even though we become ourselves coaches, and because we study, we learn, we
Mhm.
write, we read, we study and study and study.
And experience life just.
But this is something that we going from a biblical perspective.
Mhm.
Okay, it says train up the child the way. That's coaching.
Mhm.
Meaning coaching is not only being told.
Mhm.
Coaching, just like Erica Payton said, is observing.
Mhm.
Okay, now is that coaching beneficial to you in your relationship? Okay, somehow we've all been coached, whether it was intentional or not.
Mhm.
We've been coached. I remember my first coach was my father. My father never displayed love, so I didn't know how to display love.
Mhm.
In my marriage, the example I have was my father's. They never been lovey-dovey with their spouses, never be playful, stuff like that.
Mhm.
So when I was exposed to that love where husband and wife can be friends,
Mhm.
I'm not talking about friends of um like we see outside. I'm talking about like true friend where we only tell our dirty to our
Mhm.
friends.
Mhm.
Coming to your wife and like, that's my best friend, or your husband, that's my best friend, and you open with them, you tell them the truth.
Mhm.
I never seen that. When I was exposed to that, it was a cultural shock to me. Like, what? You telling me
Mm.
I need to be honest, truthful, I need to display grace because so sometimes,
Mhm.
yes, not sometimes, every time coaching is good.
Mhm.
A lot of women don't know how to become wife, and I should say a lot of female don't have yet to be coached to be women that will lead them to be wives,
Mhm.
because it's a process. When you were born, you were a female or a male. Then you become uh, you grow as a girl and a boy.
Man,
Then you have to switch. There's another switch that happened, another shift that happened where now through the coaching throughout the years, you become a woman, or a woman and a boy and a man.
I was gonna say, what?
From there you go from a woman to a wife,
Mhm.
and a man to a husband before you become spouse. Spouse is the last stage of the human evolution
Mm-mm.
in
No,
relationship.
no, that's not what they say. What does that scripture say? A man that findeth the what?
A man who found a wife found a good thing.
But is the man the husband when he find the wife?
Yeah,
He's supposed to.
it's supposed to
He
be a
not.
husband.
He's supposed to be.
You have to be. You
But what
have to
about
be.
but what about those that's not husbands that's looking for wives?
I'm sorry,
Mm.
because you have to be. You have to be. You have to be a husband
Mhm.
to identify a wife, or a wife to identify a husband.
Mhm.
That's why we have the course
Right.
on how to identify the husband and the wife,
Mhm.
because it's not, you don't become a wife because you got a ring. You become a wife. You become a wife
Way
prior
before.
to meeting your husband, and
Way
then you
before.
become a spouse when you are becoming somebody's wife.
Way before. And the thing about it, we do it backwards. We just do it backwards. We go on and get in there, and then we want to do everything in. No, you should already be walking in the roles of a husband and a wife before you take on that title of husband or wife. Wife consists of being a helpmate, being a resource, being a support, not can I say that out loud?
Mhm.
Not just being some baggage because you feel like You want him to bring everything to the table, but what are you bringing to the table? What are you bringing to the table? We are so hell-bent on, I want a man that got X, Y, and Z. But what do you have? What do you have that you bring into the table that's going to benefit anybody? You don't. You don't have anything resourceful. And so, but you mad because brother not bringing nothing to you. But you put yourself in that position, because in order for you to reap what you're looking for, you need to have something that you bring in. You need to be a resource for your husband.
But you know, a husband material is a groomer. He's a bonder. Okay. A wife material, she is a bonder keeper.
You really had to get that out, didn't you?
I got
Didn't
you.
you? Didn't you?
Yeah.
He been really working on that child.
I
He
got
been really
you
working on that.
because no, seriously, you know, we have tendency
Mhm.
to
Come on,
misinterpret
Shelton.
misinterpret the
Mhm.
scriptures,
Mm.
you know, and make the woman feel less than a person, you know, law. That's the reason why they reject submission. That's the reason why they reject that they want to be the second head.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna say this: anything that has two heads is a monster. I'm sorry. If your household, oh, my wife and I, we are the heads, you're the monster. I'm gonna say this again.
Can't be the woman, right?
Anything with two heads is a monster. Now, the wife keeps the bond together. That's why she's a helpmate. Okay, she's a helpmate because she has that capacity. And that capacity, she gets it from the bond maker. So, how are you going to be a helper unless I show you what to do? Now,
oh, we don't want to be taught. We're not sure what you trying. I know it all. What you trying to show me?
you see, and that's what happened. That's what happened in the garden. In the garden, Eve was not she was not a bad woman. She was just not coached to right.
No, because her husband was over there playing with the Lord.
No, he was not.
He was over there playing with the Lord.
Read the scripture. He was right there. I believe.
Don't do it.
And when I see God, no, when I see Adam and Eve, I'm gonna ask them.
Don't do it.
Because I know I will go. But I don't believe that Adam and Eve never separate. They were always
together.
So
why she entertaining the enemy? He right there with her.
Because of the lack of proper coaching. She was not trained properly. She was not. Because everything that he said, he didn't know. He got the information from her. So meaning the information that she got was already crooked.
I won't say crooked. It was maybe displayed without proper understanding.
If it's not proper understood, it's crooked.
No.
I'm gonna give this analogy. We build canopies. For those that don't know, canopies is the window that you see, the chaser, the military aircraft, like the F-15, the Tom Cruise. Okay, so when we bomb them, we have a process called counterboard or counter seat, where we have to dig holes in those windows. Okay, when the counterboard is not properly made, the bushings is crooked. It has to sit and sit well. So when you put because you put the glue and then you put the bushing, when you let them bond overnight, the glue solidifies, but when it solidifies, it buffs a little bit. So if the counter seat is not properly, let's say you have to go to the second, but you stop right here. Okay, you stop right here. They won't say about it. Yeah, you stop right here. It's gonna push it, and the bushing will be out. It will still stick, but it would not be good. You can sell it.
Mhm.
So it's the same in relationship. If I give you, if I don't understand an information and I give it to you, it comes crooked because now it's not serve the purpose of what it was originally.
Intended for.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's what happened in the garden. So, and when that happened in the garden, the man, the spouse still had time to correct it.
Mhm.
No, he thought because that dude cannot mess with me because I know, so I know what I gave her is also strong, so she knows.
Mhm.
He trusts her with the information that he gave, but he didn't realize
Mhm.
the information that he gave her was not good. Was not good at all.
Mm, mm, mm.
That's what the word says. Train up the child in the ways he should go. When he grow up,
Mhm.
he will not depart from that truth.
Mhm.
Okay, from that knowledge. And communication, the same thing. We need to learn how to effectively communicate with people now. In effective communication, there's not always the words that is shared.
Verbal.
Okay.
Mhm.
There is also the silent part. The silent part is the
Non-verbal.
effective nonverbal.
I wouldn't say non-verbal.
Is the effective listening
Mhm.
or active listening. You need to develop active listening in order to have your communication effective. Active listening, understanding goes beyond speaking. It involves active listening. And James 1:19 says, encourage believer to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. When you are slow to speak, anger will never be your best friend.
Say that again. Say
When
the
you
scripture.
are slow to speak,
Mm-hmm.
anger, you become slow to anger. Okay.
Quick to listen,
Quick to listen. It's
slow to speak.
quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. So this emphasizes the importance of understanding others before responding. So what does it create? That creates empathy and connections.
That's good. That's good.
So effective communication. Sorry. People need to learn, male and female, they need to learn how to effectively communicate
Yes, it's imperative.
with themselves first, then with other people.
We'll go back to that though. What you say with yourself first?
You need to learn how to communicate with yourself first.
So we're gonna know how to talk to ourselves. We're gonna know how to love ourselves. We're gonna know how to build one of ourselves up. We're gonna know how to do all of those things before we connect ourselves with somebody else.
How am I gonna be able to teach you what I don't know? I never experienced.
But how do I know that? How do I know how to build myself up? How do I know how to love myself?
That's why you go back to coaching.
Oh.
Each and every one, you need to be coached, whether it's a relationship, whether it is intimacy now is husband and wife. Intimacy can be also parent and children, because intimacy is not sexual. Intimacy is bonding. Okay, becoming one, having the same mindset. Now with financial literacy, that's coaching. You need
and
to
it don't always have to be from somebody way up here. Go to your pastors. You have people in your community. You have people around you that will coach you, that will help you. Like you said, financial literacy. It's so many areas. Effective communication, marriages, relationship. It's so many different areas where we can get coached. But the problem is we don't want nobody to tell us what we need to do. Because we don't want to be held what? Accountable. And we're all guilty. I don't want y'all to take up in the sense of, oh, William and the kid just pointing fingers. No. We have to deal with all of this ourselves. We're not exempt from any of this. You think that we're teaching you this, that we don't deal with these same things? We deal with all the exact same things. We have to take these lessons and apply them in our lives, just like we're teaching it to you guys. And so we want you to know that in order for you to be successful, to have a sustainable relationship, you're going to need to utilize these tools.
I have a revelation for you guys, okay? Until you serve the purpose you were made for as a spouse, okay? From a wife and husband perspective, you are not. Until a man manages his home and what God put in his hand, he is not a husband. Until a wife, so I mean, until a man, and when I'm talking about managing his home and everything, it's loving his wife, though from God's perspective. Okay, meaning he has to show her how to submit to him by him submitting to himself.
But submitting to himself,
Yeah.
to the Lord.
To understand, get it. How do I say? So, what do you submit to yourself? God said, "This is how I need you. I want you to walk." You have to submit to that. Okay. When you submit to what God put in your life, you submit to Him because you are made for Him, not for the wife. So when you submit, there is a ripple effect because you reap what you are doing. All right. Now, when you teach your wife submission, she's already have an example, a blueprint. Every time I see my husband submit, this is what he gets. She would never find submission.
That's good.
Because there is no manipulation behind. She knows he's coming from a place of experience, a place of truth. That's why we say in communication, you have to have love, truth, and grace. And she knows my husband display grace because when I'm not submitting to him, it still show me grace. And you can't have grace without love. And in grace, there is forgiveness.
There's a whole lot of stuff up in here. A whole lot of stuff.
So until a wife learn how to submit from her husband, Adam was not submitting to God. He was not submitting to himself. Okay, because God deposited everything in him. He was not submitted to that. God said, "You shall not." He did. He was not submitted to that. First commandment. So how could Eve submit to him? So in order for you to submit, I need to teach you how submission works and how it is done. That's the blueprint. That's the example. How many women out there know submission? I've seen submission. I've been witness to and for submission.
And in that I am grateful that I was able to see that in areas of my life growing up. Now my mom was a little thrown off. However, I love you, Alice. However, I always saw her deliver in that aspect was, this man is my head and I'm going to yield to that. You heard me say that word? I'm going to yield to that. It's just like you're driving down the street and there's a stop sign or a light and it goes from green, yellow, red. There, yellow tells you now you need to start slowing down. You need to start slowing down. And that red tells you to stop. There's a process of yielding. So when you're coming down and you're just going, and you see that yellow come up, you want to start slowing down and you want to yield and come to the stop. Just like we follow the law commands of submitting, it's the same thing. It's submitting to the laws of the land. Why is it so hard to submit to our husband? Submit unto the Lord. It says, submit unto him as unto the Lord. And even when he is not in the right position, and this is This, I think, for me is the hardest thing for women is when my husband is not doing right. Why do you want me to submit to him?
He's a mere human.
Stop throwing shade. We were called to submit. That is one of our instructions, is to submit unto our husbands. And so I encourage you, really, really, I encourage you, we encourage you, if you have not got your Doing Marriage God's Way 30-day devotional, you need to make sure that you order one today. Well, no, you just, these are the journals.
Oh, that's a journal?
Mm-hmm. Get your French or your English and your French one. We have the Doing Marriage God's Way in English and in French. We have the paperback, and we also have a digital copy. The English and the French version in both paperback or the digital version. When I tell you that this was birthed out of some things that we have experienced, things that we have learned, and things that we have gleaned from other relationships.
You need to say painful.
Why did it be painful?
Because they were painful.
You know, that 30-day devotional, I truly tell you that it changed and is changing.
I want to.
And is changing our marriage. We utilize those tools in what we do on our day-to-day basis, and what we teach others. If you have not gotten your copy, please get your copy today.
So men and women out there, our brother Shelton Williams said, "What are you bringing to the table?" Just back here, and I want to emphasize on that one. A woman can bring nothing to the table unless the man puts something in her hands.
Did he bring the table? Did he bring the table so I could put something on the table?
A helpmeet it comes to help you manage. So meaning before you marry the wife, you have to be a husband, not a spouse. You become a spouse when you are responsible of somebody, daughter. Okay, a spouse is the one who gives birth to a spouse, a female spouse. Okay, so until you birth out
as a man,
your counterpart, you're not a spouse.
And how do you birth her out?
When I met you, the first time I met, within 3 days, I knew you were a wife material. The conversation we had in 3 days made me propose. 46 days we were married. Okay,
see my face,
but you didn't become. You were already a wife when I met you. Okay, I was being coached on becoming a husband by Bishop, but I become a spouse. We become spouses when we bond our ideas within 6 months, because it's not effective. It's a process.
It don't just happen because you say I do.
Yeah, and that bond came because we rejected our cultures to get the kingdom culture.
I'm glad you cleaned that, because we don't want you to say we rejected in the sense of what we thought that our stuff was bad. It just wasn't working for our family. So in order for our family to produce what God intended for it to produce, we had to create our own culture, and that was God's culture.
God's culture. And when Sheldon said, "What are you bringing to the table?" when he asked, as a man asking to the wife, matter of fact, here I would say this: that question should be asked to men. What are you bringing to the table? What kind of wife, spouse are you bringing to the table? What did you put in her hand so she can multiply? Because
Mouse.
Miles Monroe said, the wife is like the incubator. Whatever you give, she multiplies. What have you put in her hand for her to multiply?
Well, when you even what you're saying that when everybody wants to be that Proverbs 31 woman, but are you willing to become that Proverbs 31 woman? And when you look at that scripture, it's not just one thing, because that's all of that stuff is not just in one woman, but those attributes that she displays. Are you willing to walk that out? Because when I say the skills that the Proverbs 31 woman possess, just put in virtuous, man. The skills that this woman displayed was phenomenal.
The virtuous bride.
But you need to make sure that you are, if you go down, you'll see the little thing with all of it on there. How resourceful she was. You know, if you're going to desire to be that Proverbs 31 woman, here are some things that you need to be. You need to be helpful. You need to be exceptional. You need to be a leader, persistent, mature. Now that mature place, I'm gonna have to come back to y'all later, because some of y'all are not mature, because you out here going and telling your mama them and your daddy them and all of your family them stuff about what's going on in your home, when you setting your own self up, because you know you're not gonna lead a man, but you're gonna be mad when your family don't welcome him in, because you the one that sowed seeds on telling all of y'all business. But because that's not maturity. But I'm gonna come back to that. She should be attentive and
Altruistic, yeah.
Transfigurative and trustworthy, equipped and entrepreneurial. Those are some of the things that we pulled out of that Proverbs 31 woman. When you are a wife, this is the things that you are bringing to the table.
And this comes from the word helpmate. So if you miss one, if you miss one,
yes, right there.
If you miss one, you are not the virtuous woman. Okay. Oh, but how come I have because there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I have 7 out of 8. Yeah, so 7 out of 8. You incomplete. It's not. It has to be 100%. We didn't say perfect. Okay, we didn't say perfect, but you have to have all 8 inside. Okay, but William, what woman do you think is the church? The church is the virtuous bride, the virtuous woman. How do you? Why? Because it's not what we found out. It's not one woman, but one woman can be that. Just give the church as an example. You say, wife, love your husband like submit to your husband like the church submit to Christ's leadership. Okay. When we look at it, the first step that we saw was Ruth. Ruth was a worshiper. She was a friend. She was a faithful woman. Okay. She became friend with a mother-in-law. She was faithful to her culture. She was a worshiper of the true one, the true living God. Then we have the number 2, Deborah. Okay, who was a leader and a wise woman. Can a woman be wise? Yeah.
Well, I would hope so.
She wise because her husband is wise, but if the husband is foolish,
you need to have a wise wife.
Because the word said when the husband is a fool, he still sit at the table of the man at the gate because of
his
wife. Okay, so you have Ruth, you have Deborah. You need to go and study these women. Okay, we have
Sarah.
Sarah was a confident woman, and she was a submissive woman. Okay, she was submitted to Abraham. She was not afraid to call Abraham my Lord, meaning my provider, meaning my protector, meaning my everything. She was so confident in herself. that when Abraham started act up, she said, you know what? I know the path to salvation. I'm going to see your God because I know he's the only person you fear.
You ain't gonna listen to nobody else.
I'm not gonna fight
you. Let me go to the one that created you.
I'm not gonna fight you. I'm not gonna create shenanigans. I'm not gonna disrespect you. No. I'm going to God. How many women out there go on their knees and say, you know what? You don't want to listen? I put you in God's hand.
Come on.
Okay. This woman, when you read the word confidence in Hebrew is bitachon. That means faith, trust, belief, fidelity, security, safety, devotion, assurance, defense. So she has all that in her.
And if you guys want a copy of this, reach out to us and let us know. We can get that over to you because we can't get all of these points in.
And you have 4 until so, but
what Erica said.
Erica said something that I have been convicted of is that I have to operate in love. I have to operate in love. Love covers sin and is not selfish. So as a wife, I need to be love even when I don't want to be.
Even when I don't want to, because love isn't selfish.
Oh yeah. Okay. She has to be love. She has to represent, because love is a character. Because love is not only a behavior. It's not only a mere word that you say, oh, I love you. No, it's action. So,
and we do that. We get so caught up in the things that we want. Is I want you to respect me. I want you to love me. I want you to give me this. I want you to. But what are you? When are you going to become what you're expecting? You want love, but are you displaying love? How does the scripture go? You know, when you display friendliness.
If you want a friend, show yourself friendly.
Right. So you have to display what you are desiring, what you want to bring to the table. And again, if you guys want a copy of The Virtuous Bride, please reach out to either myself or William, and we can get that copy over to you.
So we're going to wrap up, and I'm going to finish with the main part, the husband. Okay. There are 5 qualities to identify your man. Okay. And you have to ask those questions. Do you love God's presence? If your man tell you, I love you more than anything, run away.
Run, baby, run.
Run. That dude gonna hurt you. He gonna hurt you. Because if a man say, girl, I love you more than anything. If you're already married, you can run. What you need to do, run to God. Still run. But you need to run to God, because any man that loves you more than anything, that man doesn't fear God.
And you get it from the sense of, oh, he's just trying to be all loving. No. But when you understand the premise of that, it's like, no. I shouldn't be before God.
Because understand, in the beginning was the word. Okay, Nikia is my wife today because of a word that I say. Shelton, she's married to you because of word.
Keyshawn and Shelton.
Yeah.
What you said?
I said, Shelton, she's married to you.
Who? Keyshawn.
Who's Shelton?
No, I'm saying, but you didn't say his wife's name. I'm saying his wife's name. Keyshawn.
Yeah, but I'm talking
to him.
Okay, but I'm talking to him. I say she is married. He knows. They don't have to know.
Really? Now call your YFC out. Your favorite couple out.
Okay. That's my favorite couple, guys. That's our favorite couple. When I said, "Oh, your favorite couple," I said, that's them. That's the brain.
Follow them on social media platforms.
But Shelton is married today because of the word that he said. That first one. That's the reason why when he promised her that I will take you to the world, around the world. That's what he do. Because she was like, oh, when he was trying to build up something on the land, she said, hey, do you remember you said, I will see you got to give me the world?
You know what?
Now you got to give me the world. But it started with in the beginning was the word. Okay. Second question is, are you working? I'm not talking about having a job. Okay, a job is something that is something that you work for wage. You trade your time for wage. Okay, your value for wage. Working here is becoming. You got to become some, and the word is avoda. Avoda in Hebrew means a goal, fulfilling the purpose. So, do you fulfill your purpose, the purpose you were made for, you were created for? Third question: do you have a vision and purpose for your life? Do you have a vision? Women, that's the question you need to ask any man. I'm talking about the unmarried women. Question to any man that comes to you. Do you love God's presence?
We need to get that out to Denisha.
Are you working? Do you have a vision and purpose for your life? Because women don't have purpose and vision until the husband. That's what Shelton said. What are you bring to the table? You need to give your wife a vision and purpose. You say, hey, here's the vision and purpose. I need you to magnify. I told Nikia, I said, hey, babe, this is what we need to do. And everything that you guys are seeing right now is Nikia multiplying it. It's not me. I just had an idea. Nikia transformed my idea. If you want a good meal, bring the grocery to your wife. If you want children, give her a seed. If you want problems, start to lie.
Really?
The fourth question: can you improve me? Women, you need to ask the right question to get the right answer. Can you improve me? 2 years later in your marriage, if you realize you haven't improved, go back to that. That's the contract. Honey, you remember when we got married, I asked you if you can improve me, and you say yes? Because I'm sick and tired of hearing people saying, or you have to heal from your previous relationship first before you go with somebody. That ain't true. Because if you know God gave you the ability to improve the woman you meet. He gave you the ability. That's the reason why he needs to love God's presence. Earlier we talked about John 10. Enter the gate. You need to enter the gate and stay inside the gate. Yeah, I know that's what we talked earlier. Yeah. So the fifth question: can you protect and defend me with your life? Can you wash and cleanse me? Ephesians 5. That's what Christ did. Okay, he's the husband by excellence, the spouse by excellence, the bridegroom. A bridegroom or a spouse is the one who answered those who checked all these 5 questions. Do you love God's presence? He said, who sees me sees the Father. Are you working? He said, I'm doing the work of my Father. What I saw my Father do, that's what I'm doing. Do you have a vision and purpose for your life? He said, yes, I'm here to give you life more abundantly. That's a purpose. Can you improve me? He said, yeah. Before you were a sinner, now you are part of life. I can improve you. There were darkness, I brought light. That's improvement. Can you protect and defend me? Which he said, yeah. He said, what a marvelous thing for a friend that to lay his own life for those he loves. Okay, when a man can do that, now he is a spouse. Until then, you're still in the category of a husband, but you're not a spouse. You're still a category. So for your wife to become a spouse, you need to give her all that. Because when you give her all that, you transform this one from a mere wife to a spouse, meaning she become now the helpmate, the virtuous woman from Proverbs 31 teach. You cannot be Proverbs 31 outside of marriage because it's a covenant. So all the women, I finished with this, and it's a little slap on the wrist, okay? Stop asking God to bring you Boaz if you're not ready and willing to become Ruth. Stop asking for your Boaz until you are willing to be coached and transform your life to the like of Ruth, meaning you become faithful, trustworthy, you become a devoted woman, okay?
Mhm.
Until your life looks like Ruth, you will never meet a Boaz.
Mhm.
And if you don't meet a Boaz, guess who you're gonna meet?
Mm.
Boy,
Boy, anyway. Book your 30-minute consultation with us today to see if we would fit for you, if you would fit with us to prepare you for marriage or to help you through your marriage. We are Will and Nakia with Impacting Lives Coaching and Consulting, and our website is Impacting Lives Coaching and Consulting. No, impactinglivescoaching.com. Impactinglivescoaching.com. You can click on our link in our description. We love you guys, and we will see you next time. Thank you for joining us today.
appreciate it.
Thank you. TikTok.